Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about India's relations with UAE on the sidelines of Prime Minister's visit to UAE. So we are going to discuss what are the significant things that happened in the recent past between India and UAE, and how is the relations between these two countries, and what are the challenges that these two countries are facing in terms of bilateral relations, and many other interesting things in terms of IR, like some recent groupings and some of the recent initiatives or economic corridors that were announced between these two countries are also the things which we are going to look as part of this video. So stay tuned till the end. So here we are going to discuss about recently, Prime Minister of India have visited this country of UAE. So UAE, you should know this location is very important. Whenever you're coming across one country, just locate that country on the map. You should observe the surrounding water bodies or the boundaries of that country. So UAE, United Arab Emirates, this is the capital, Abu Dhabi you have. So here Persian Gulf on the one side, and you have Gulf of Oman on the other side. Here you have Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so here you have Iran. So these are the countries. You have Iran. So in this way you have to locate the border, and you have here Oman on the other side, and you have Saudi Arabia here, and you have this Oman also, it is coming again here. Okay, observe these things on the map. Then if you see, in the recent times, we have come across this term, India, Middle East and Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC. What is this corridor means? We'll discuss in the end. Just remember this. I'll explain in the end. So, why it is in news recently, and it is interestingly 7th visit by same Indian Prime Minister to UAE since he have taken charge as the Prime Minister, and in the last 8 months, this is the 3rd visit he made to UAE. That means so much frequency of bilateral visits are happening between these two countries. So that is what it is reflecting, that these two countries are enjoying stronger ties with each other. Then we'll discuss in the recent visit what are the significant things that happened, and what are the relations between UAE, economic interests also we'll see. And there is also recent signing of agreement called CAPA, that is Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between two countries. It was signed in 2022 itself. So we'll see what is the main features of this agreement, and also what are the challenges between these two countries, and many other things. So here it forms part of GS2 as part of bilateral relations in IR. Then in the recent times, visited by our Indian Prime Minister to UAE. So as part of significant relations with Gulf region. So as a whole, so as I told you, this is the 7th visit he made, and in the last 8 months, this is the 3rd visit. Then in the recent visit, he inaugurated the first Hindu temple in the land of UAE. So yesterday itself we have seen that our Prime Minister has inaugurated India's first Hindu temple in UAE. Okay, so this is constructed as by one organization, you can see, Bochan Vasi Shri Akshar Purushottam Swaminarayan Sanstha. This has been constructed by this particular organization. That is why it is named as BAPS, First Hindu Temple. And he also attended this World Government Summit as guest of honor. Okay, so World Government Summit is happening in Dubai on February 14th. It already happened. So there our Prime Minister visited or attended this summit as guest of honor. And what is the focus of the summit is shaping future governments. Okay, so in which India was also given a platform to give its ideas. Then what are the relations? Diplomatic relations started when in 1971 UAE was established. So from then, and afterwards we have set up a diplomatic relations, and Indira Gandhi was the first Prime Minister who visited this country as in the official capacity. Then economic ties started, right? From 1971 onwards, we have focused on both two things. One is trade and labor. So these are the two main things on which two countries have established their relations. Then what are the economic relations? If you see both countries, they're almost enjoying $84 billion of trade, bilateral trade is there between two countries. And for India, UAE is the 3rd largest trading partner, and for UAE, India is the 2nd largest trading partner. That means both countries have very strong trade relations with each other. And you can see here, last year itself, that is 2022, we have signed this Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. In the same year, if you have remembered, we have already signed an agreement with Australia also. Okay, so what is the name of the agreement? Answer in the comment section. So what is this type of agreement means? In trade agreements, we have different types, like FTA you have, and preferential trade agreements we have, CA, we have comprehensive agreement, commercial agreement we have, and also we have comprehensive economic partnership agreement we have. In this way we have different agreements. So this is mainly reducing tariff barriers. By both the countries, they'll reduce the tariffs for other countries' imports and exports, and it will also increase trade between two relations. And recently, if you have seen, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority has shown its willingness to establish its operations in Gift City in Gujarat. You know, there is a Gift City in Gujarat, and it is showing its interest. And the main thing is bilateral investment treaty was also signed. So this bilateral investment treaty will facilitate more and more bilateral investments between two countries. And Bharat Mart, this is like you can say, what are the MSMEs we have. So this is organized in UAE, so that this MSMEs based in India can export their particular products, so that they can find all these in Bharat Mart in UAE. So that can become a market for our MSMEs. In this way, we have strengthened our economic relations. Then coming to cultural relations. In Indian diaspora, you know, diaspora means Indians who are living abroad. Almost 3.5 million people, that means 35 lakh Indians are living in West, especially in UAE, and these people are economically also significant because they send remittances to India. In this way, we are having good relations between two countries. And educational cooperation means recently IIT Delhi has agreed to establish a campus in this UAE, Abu Dhabi, its capital. And you know, restoration and preservation of archival material also, there is an agreement that was signed. Archives, okay, so that was also getting restored. And religious cooperation. Yesterday we have seen there is an inauguration of first Hindu temple. No? In this way, religious cooperation is also getting strengthened between two countries. But in terms of defense cooperation, I2U2. So I2U2 means this is a grouping between four countries: Israel, India, two I's, and you have U2 is UAE and USA you have. So I2U2 is a grouping that was established in 2022 itself. This is called as West Asian Quad, we call West Asian Quad. You know, Quad is already there. Quad is a grouping, quadrilateral dialogue between India, US, Japan and Australia. So this is another thing. So as it is in West Asia, we are calling this West Asian Quad or New Quad or Quad 2.2. These are the other names of this I2U2. So UPSC already has asked a question on this. So you have to be careful. So this was signed after Israel and UAE have signed Abraham Accord. So after signing of this Abraham Accord, India along with US have joined this and they formed I2U2. So this first summit happened in 2022 itself. So they have identified 6 areas under I2U2. You can see water, food, security, health, energy, transportation and space. These are the areas on which they extend their cooperation. And in global level, you see last year India hosted G20 summit in India. At the same time, UAE hosted COP28, UNFCCC COP28 happened in Dubai. No? So all these are the two things. When we are sharing one global platform, and or when we are hosting one thing, they also hosted another thing. So this is also strengthening the relations. This helped in strengthening relations in terms of environmental cooperation, climate change, and also South-South cooperation. In these things, both the countries have exchanged. And then we have India-Middle East Economic Corridor, as I have shown you the image in the beginning. So this is an economic corridor which is connecting the Indian Asian part along with the Arabian Peninsula to the European country. That means through this network, we are strengthening our trade relations. So what is the main objective is, here this is seen as an alternative to BRA. You know, BRA is the Belt and Road Initiative, which was launched by China. This is also a network of infrastructural projects. So this is seen as a counter to BRA. We can bypass China and Pakistan using this India-Middle East Economic Corridor. We can strengthen our relations with Middle East, Africa and also European countries. In this way, India is also at the beneficial end. So this is all helping to strengthen the relations. And not only in this, in financial technology cooperation also, India and UAE are having the relations. India's UPI and UAE's ANI. So these two are getting interlinked so that there will be cross-border transactions seamlessly happening. Then interlinking of domestic debit and credit cards. You know, in India we have domestic card as RuPay, and they have this card J1. Okay, so this card is getting interlinked so that they can enhance the universal operations. Then what are the factors in which which factors have strengthened the relations is increased diplomatic engagement. You can see in the recent times only Prime Minister visited almost a 7th time. Okay, so that means frequency of visits, even defense ministers visit, national security advisors visit, external affairs visit. So all this have strengthened our diplomatic engagement. Second is strategic geopolitical reorientation. Okay, so reorientation means, as I told you, now this Middle East is very important because India has become the 3rd largest energy consumer in the world, and also we wanted to control the influence of China in the Middle East, and we wanted to secure many countries' support for India. In this way, it is very important. And in shift in religious diplomacy, previously they used to see India in religious terms, but now we can say India has made a significant feat by you can say UAE has helped in establishing first Hindu temple because of India's efforts. Okay, so this is also showing a shift in religious diplomacy. And economic and strategic partnership is also getting strengthened in the recent times. Counter-terrorism and defense collaboration is also increasing. So because of these things, we have very good strength in the relations. Then you can see what are the challenges. Geopolitical concerns means, although we have good relations with UAE, but still UAE has very good relations even with Pakistan. So this is also one thing which is troubling us, and China is also growing its presence, and Iran's relations is not one thing which UAE likes. So this is also one concern we have. And trade challenges, although we are having good trade, bilateral trade, but still there is a lot of potential, and two countries have some issues to be sorted out in the terms of free trade agreements. Then labor right concerns, there is a kafala system which UAE is implementing. As I told you, many of Indian workers are working in UAE and they're sending the remittances. But for these workers to work there or to engage there, so this kafala system is becoming an obstacle. What is the system means? For any foreign worker who is going to work in UAE, they have to get contracted under one native contractor. Okay, so for long time. So whatever the harsh conditions that were imposed on the foreign workers, that is creating a situation very troublesome for the Indian workers to live there. So this kafala system is causing some troubles in the labor rights from India. And investment and economic cooperation and delays also are happening between two countries. And energy and transportation disputes are also there. Okay, with respect to liquefied petroleum gas and all, we have some issues that should be sorted out. Then what are the way forward? These political concerns, geopolitical concerns, what we have between two countries, that has to be sorted out at the earliest, and improving labor rights and also fostering more and more people ties. So this cultural and soft diplomacy will help. Then you can see here, consider the following statements with regard to the electoral bonds. So electoral bonds can be given to a registered political party, either a national party or state party. Both are correct. Okay. Then first statement is correct. Then, although called a bond, banking instrument resembling promissory notes will not carry any interest. Okay. So as I told you, these are interest-free bonds. They have asked correct options. So both 1 and 2 is the answer for this question. Then today's practice question, which of the following countries are part of I2U2 network? USA, India, UK, Israel and Indonesia. Answer among the given options. Then mains question, how will I2U2 grouping transform India's role in geopolitics? Discuss. So this is a mains question for practice. As we have come to end of the discussion, in this video we have discussed the highlights of our Indian Prime Minister's visit to UAE and what are the bilateral relations both countries are enjoying. We also have seen another important fact from prelims is I2U2 and India Middle East Economic Corridor we have seen, and also we have seen what are the challenges that two countries are facing in terms of bilateral relations, and many practice questions for prelims and mains we have seen. Okay, so these are the main things which we have discussed as part of this video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.